Welcome to Season 2, Episode 24 of our monologue series. This one's called The Sleep Paradox. Before deployments in some of the units I worked with, there was a very old infantry tradition. It was called the Stand To. Before dawn was historically the most dangerous time. That's when units were attacked. So an hour before first light, the entire perimeter would come awake. Every weapon was manned. Every line of sight was watched. No talking, no movement, just listening, waiting, watching. You held that stand to until daylight made an attack unlikely, and only then would the officer give the order to stand down. And only then could anyone return to their duties. There was a single thing that ended the watch. Now, it wasn't exhaustion, it wasn't the hour on the clock, and it wasn't not how badly you wanted it to be over. Just one thing. The order. And I'll come back to that later. So sometimes you're tired enough to cry, but the moment your head hits the pillow, your eyes snap open. You've already tried using apps. You may be taking melatonin. You may be doing breathing exercise. None of it works for long. And what I'm going to tell you in the next 10 minutes contradicts what your doctor probably said. Because the reason you cannot sleep is not bad habits. The reason you cannot sleep is that your nervous system has decided on a level you do not control that it's simply not safe to sleep. And it's not safe to sleep because you can't let go. Now, I came out of military aviation with my own version of this paradox. Wild nightmares 3 or 4 nights a week. Waking states that were a danger to me and the people closest to me. And yes, I tried some medication, didn't work. And here is the thing. The medication worked, sort of. It would make me dozy or groggy, but I would wake unrestored. And I would wake up hypervigilant, hyper-aware, sprung loaded, as they say, to the go position. Like my body had been sleeping, but my nervous system had never stopped running because it had not. The medication was doing what medication does. It was managing the alarm. Nobody was looking at what was setting the alarm off in the first place. And here's the thing nobody told me or anybody else. Sleep is not something you do. Sleep is something your nervous system has to agree to. It has to register enough safety signals to let you go to sleep. That's biology. And it's not your conscious control any more than your digestion is. If your nervous system has ever learned through one bad night or 1,000 that letting go is dangerous, it will simply refuse to go to sleep. It refuses to agree to go to sleep. You can be unconscious, level tired, and your system will still hold the line because it thinks it's saving your life. Think of your sleeplessness like a canary in the coal mine. The canary is meant to fall over when there's poison gas in the air. If your canary keeps collapsing, you have 2 options. Option 1, you can keep reviving the canary, get a new cage, get it better water, maybe give your canary a little oxygen mask. That's what sleep hygiene, medication does. That's what melatonin does. That's what the pill does. You're keeping the canary alive while the gas keeps leaking. Option 2, you can actually go down in the mine and find out where the gas is leaking from. For trauma-impacted people, the gas is unresolved affective memories. A memory your brain encoded under threat and never finished processing. And while that memory is still active, your nervous system stays on watch. It scans, it listens, it runs the predictive loop. At 3 a.m., when there's nothing to occupy the cognitive layer, that prediction loop is what wakes you up. It's not random. Your brain is doing exactly what it learned to do. And here's what actually changes things. There is a mechanism in the brain called memory reconsolidation. When you activate an emotional memory, it opens a brief window, hours, where it can be worked on. In that window, the affective signature of the memory becomes editable, changeable. Not the facts of the memory, not what you remember, actually the emotional charge. If you intervene during that window with the right kind of new information, the brain reconsolidates the memory with the charge updated. The fear does not return. The original event becomes available without the original alarm. We call that a coherent memory. And this is what affective memory resolution does, AMR. It is the work I train for and the work I train other practitioners in. It operates at the encoding layer. The layer talk therapy can describe but cannot quite reach. And here's the part you should hold on to. When that work is done well, you do not have to try to sleep. The vigilance the nervous system was running does not have a reason to run anymore. Your sleep architecture stabilizes, and people I've worked with report falling asleep within minutes, not because they fixed their sleep, but because the system stopped needing to stay on watch. So if you're a practitioner, a coach, a therapist, somebody who works with trauma-impacted clients, you might think about the clinical applications of NLP and neuroscience for healing, which teaches affective memory resolution. Right? You can find the curriculum enrollment at certification.inspired.com. If you're not a practitioner, this is your own sleep we are talking about, there is a private at-home version of the same work in the Inspired Beyond Trauma app that will be released this summer. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what your nervous system has been holding on to, right? What is the thing it cannot let go of? And remember the stand to. The whole perimeter is awake. Every weapon is manned. Every line of sight watched. Just listening. Just waiting for first light. That's what an unresolved affective memory does at 3 a.m. The system runs the stand to every night from a deployment that ended a long time ago. Nobody ever gave the stand down order because the part of you that runs the watch is not the part of you that knows the deployment is over. I'll talk to you in the next monologue.